Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. Let me just raise this camera up slightly because I don't think you can quite see in focus the beautiful fringe tiara, the one that the Queen wore on her wedding day. Right, hello and welcome to everybody. As always, this is a live stream chat, so I already have the live stream open. By the way, I've broken a bit more of my fan. It keeps flapping. Look, I need a new yellow fan. Anyway, I get through these fans like nobody's business. Hello and welcome. I'm hoping people are getting notifications. I'm hoping that YouTube is actually pushing videos out because it's important in these days and times that people, get to have communication with other people. So hello, I can see people dropping in. Beverly, Christine, Betsy, Sharona, all channel members. Hello and welcome to you. Thank you again for being channel members. We now have 105 channel members. So hello and welcome to you all. Yes, oh no, a broken fan. I know. I know, look at it. Look at the state of my fan. My goodness. Right. I think we should move on to the breaking news of the day. So, we all know what's going on in the world right now. And for a good three weeks, I would say, there has been talk, anticipation, people wanting the Queen to address the nation. So, usually when the Queen addresses the nation, it is for something really, really big and something really, really major. This has only happened, I believe, 4 times in the Queen's reign. And by the way, I'm not counting the annual Christmas address. I'm talking about outside of that. I think the one was the Gulf War, when Britain entered into the Gulf War. We had the Princess Diana's sad passing. We had the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother's passing. Oh no, so this will be the 4th. This will be the 4th time. Anyway, the palace has announced that the Queen will finally address the nation. The British government has been saying for weeks now that, that there could potentially be a Queen's broadcast to the nation, but that would come when the time is right. So, they've obviously decided that the time is now right. I want to open a tweet from the official royal family Twitter. It's also on Instagram as well, the exact same thing. But I'll share it on Twitter. And this is the official message the palace put out announcing that this would go ahead. So, on Sunday, the 5th of April at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, Her Majesty the Queen will address the UK and the Commonwealth in a televised broadcast. So it's not just to the UK, it's to the Commonwealth, and I guess you could kind of also say to the wider world as well. As well as on television and radio, the Queen's address will be shown on the royal family's social media channels. So, if you are from a different country that's not in the Commonwealth and the UK, you will be able to watch, as long as you can work out what time 8 p.m. British Standard Time is for you in your area. So do go and check, do go and do all the relevant conversions. But if you are there, you will be able to watch on the different social media streams. I'm imagining that means their Twitter, their Instagram, and their Facebook. So you will definitely be able to see it. I will be there watching. Let me know in the comment section if you will be watching as soon as it goes live. I will be there. Now, these sorts of things are very momentous. Like I say, the very, very last time I can remember the Queen addressing the nation was when the Queen Mother passed away. And before that, in my lifetime, of course, I remember when she spoke about Diana. I was alive during the Gulf crisis as well, but I don't remember the Queen's broadcast at that time. I don't remember watching it, but I do remember the Diana address. I do remember the Queen Mother's address as well. So there we have it. Let me know what you think about that. I'm going to go and read some comments. straight away. I'm sure people are already doing the conversions of time. Let's have a look. Yes, I hope everybody is still keeping safe. Barbara says those fans are fragile. They are fragile, but I have a lot of flapping to do. Let's have a look. I'm going down. Shrona says, where the pack of fans you were given? I've still got the pack of fans. In fact, this one is from that pack, and the yellow one was from the pack. And I can't remember if I had another gold one, but I will have to go and have a look as well. Beverly says, I'm going to mark that on your phone calendar to watch. I will most certainly do a reaction to it after I've watched it. I'm not sure if in terms of copyright I'm allowed to show it. I don't know, but I will definitely be talking about it straight after. How can you see the Queen's speech in the USA? Social media, Facebook, on the official royal family's Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. It will be there. So don't fret. And also, even though obviously the Queen is sending this message formally to the Commonwealth and the UK, it is a message that can be enjoyed by the wider world. And I kind of think the Queen is viewed by a lot of people overseas that aren't part of the Commonwealth or the UK. I think a lot of people still view her as like a grandmotherly figure, this kind of figurehead that's long-lived and has wise words and comforting words to depart. And I think that's what we'll see. We'll see the Queen, I think, being realistic. I think she'll be realistic about what she's saying. She will recognise the hardships that people are going through. I think she will recognise about the mental health and the self-isolation that people are facing and feeling and dealing with. I think she will also maybe add a religious tone into that. I think she will also be uplifting. I think she will also try to evoke some of that wartime spirit that she lived through, because of course that's almost like in a different format, but it's kind of like what we're facing now. We are almost going through a battle, if you like. I think she will try to evoke some of that spirit that she lived through in her lifetime. And I think when the Queen speaks out on something, people listen, whether it be from the UK, the Commonwealth, or the wider world. And believe me, the world will be watching. So this is a message that will be felt and enjoyed by the whole world. Let me know what you're all thinking. Linnea says, yes, very much as grandmotherly figure. Yeah, she's the Queen. She's the head of our state here. But she's also seen, not many people can remember a time without Queen Elizabeth on the British throne. Not many people can remember a time when we didn't have her. So, this is when I think having a monarchy really does come into its own. I don't think anybody else in the world would be better placed at sending and broadcasting a message like this. Beverly says, would the BBC possibly stream it? I think they will. But without doubt, they have said it will be on their social medias. So let me just check again. I think it said live. As well as on television and radio, the Queen's address will be shown on the royal family's social media channels. So you'll be able to watch. In terms of live, I don't know if it will be shown live, but definitely check out the BBC News channel as well, or any other things like that. Any other British news channels, I imagine they will be broadcasting it live as well. Elaine says, thing is, all we have to do is sit on our sofa. Our monarchy is the envy of the world. This message will be viewed by the world. It's not just a message, and the Queen knows it as well. It's not just a message for the UK and the Commonwealth. It is for the world. Louisa says, no, almost about it. This is absolutely a war. She knows what it's like to survive that. She does. She does. I mean, obviously, she viewed she viewed the war through the eyes of a privileged young lady, but she did endure the same hardships that other people did in terms of food rationing, clothing rationing. The royal family still had to collect clothing coupons. They still adhered to the rationing and the restrictions on water use and all that kind of thing. So although she would have had to endure those hardships in a gilded cage, so to speak, in the royal homes, she would still have had to have gone through these things, and she would have seen firsthand the suffering that the people went through. And of course, the Queen Mother and George VI, her father, would have told her about all the people that they had seen suffering as well. Right, okay, I'm going to also read a little bit about the other occasions when the Queen addressed the nation. So as I've said before, this is quite a momentous occasion. It doesn't happen very, very often. Yes, we get an annual Christmas message, but outside of that, we don't necessarily get these messages. So we saw in 1997, 18 years ago, on the eve of the Queen Mother's funeral, the Queen thanked the country for their support and the love and the honour shown to the Queen Mother. The Queen was dressed in black, and she recorded it from Windsor. She said, "I count myself fortunate that my mother was blessed with a long and happy life. She had an infectious zest for living, and this remained with her until the very end." Another occasion, of course, was Diana, Princess of Wales's death. Now, obviously, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the Queen's stay in Balmoral before she came down to Buckingham Palace to deliver this message. Obviously, there was a sea of flowers outside the palace. The message was broadcast live to the nation. By the way, this message the Queen is doing now, she isn't actually saying it live. It is pre-recorded, so the Queen has already filmed this message. But obviously, it is an occasion when she's addressing the nation. When she addressed us all about Diana, it was actually live. There were people in the Mall, lining the Mall outside the Victoria Memorial. There was flowers, as I said before, and she made a very touching message as a mother and a grandmother. And of course, that message still exists. You can go on YouTube and still see that. Also, oh yeah, there was another occasion, her Diamond Jubilee address as well, but that obviously wasn't in a time of crisis. So in February 1991, the Queen recorded a brief televised address to the nation during the Gulf War. It came as the Allied land offensive began against Iraqi forces occupying Kuwait. The Queen called on people to unite and pray that the armed forces' success would be as swift as it is certain, and that it would be achieved with as small a cost in human life and suffering as possible. She expressed her hopes for a just and lasting peace. Then obviously the Diamond Jubilee address. The monarch also made a televised address when she thanked the nation for the festivities commemorating her Diamond Jubilee, describing it as a humbling experience. As a special bank holiday came to a close in June 2012, the monarch said in the 2-minute pre-recorded televised message that she was deeply touched, adding, "I hope that memories of all of this year's happy events will brighten our lives for many years to come." There we go. And the Queen is just a remarkable woman, and I keep going back to the point that she is so best placed to deliver this message that I'm sure will give people the resolve and the will to get through this. I'm just scanning some comments to see what people are saying. Alicat says we should get ration books now. Someone by me came back from shopping and then had a delivery of food so he could get extra stuff. Okay, that's greedy. That is greedy. Mrs. Pilling says, I think Her Majesty will refer to the past and how her family survived. I think so too. Yeah. So there we go. And of course, once I have seen it, I will give you my full opinion on what the message and the content of the message. I'm sure we can all have a really, really good chat about that on Sunday evening. In fact, yes, I will go live after the message on Sunday evening. So tune in for the Queen and then tune in for me probably moments after. Right, I'm going to move on to my next story now, which is, of course, Prince Charles. So, we all know, again, what's going... a lot of these stories now are all about what's going on in the world right now. But this is one, almost of hope and inspiration in its nature. Because in the UK, we have been requisitioning all of the closed stadium, well, not all of them, but some of the larger stadiums that usually would be venues for sporting events, music events, concerts, exhibitions. So one of the major exhibition centres in London has been requisitioned to be turned into a hospital. And a hospital, a fully operating hospital, was created inside the space, the core of it, in 9 days. It was constructed by the army, NHS professionals, teams of builders. It was incredible how everybody came together for the British National Health Service to create a hospital that now has, currently at the moment, capacity for 500 beds. But the entire space is likely to be expanded, and they say that they can create in this space, in a matter of maybe another couple of weeks, the capacity for 4,000 extra beds. And they are drafting in trainee nurses, retired National Health Service staff are coming back. Also, centres very, very similar up and down the country in Birmingham, in Manchester, in Wales, in Cardiff, have also been requisitioned for this same model. I think it is remarkable. Now, this National Health Service hospital has been named the Nightingale Hospital. And, of course, after Florence Nightingale. It's incredible, it's amazing, and I have to say I felt very, very touched when Prince Charles made his live address when he opened this hospital. He did it from the confines of his home in Scotland, Birkhall, and it felt emotional. I think at one moment during his opening speech, I did feel really emotional. I kind of choked up. I'm getting choked up kind of speaking about it now. But he spoke from his heart. He spoke from his heart. He also spoke from experience, of course. And he referenced all the hard-working staff. He referenced all the hardships that people are going through. He referenced the inspirational people that have gone into making this happen. And also, he made a joke saying, even from here, I haven't got the ability to actually, unveil the plaque. So he asked one of the senior nurses to unveil the plaque, which happened. There was a big, massive round of applause. It was incredible. It was amazing. If you haven't already seen that, I will send you a link to it. Now, this is again, I'll send you a link to the one, the Sky News version on Twitter, which is the one that I watched. So I will put that there. As always, I will put these links that I share in the description box once this video has finished being live. It really was incredible, so do go ahead and watch that. As part of that recording, he said, "It is symbolic of the selfless care and devoted service taking place in innumerable settings with countless individuals throughout the UK." And like I said, I should also reference the photo. So I'm going to copy a link to the photo. So on Twitter, they released a photo of Prince Charles recording this message. So I'm going to open up the photo and I'm going to zoom in because, again, it shows an intimate look into what I think appears to be a kind of sitting room or a parlour at Birkhall. his Scottish home, which of course he shares with wife Camilla. Now, Burke Hall is on the Balmoral estate, so it's still owned, of course, by the Crown. Privately owned, of course, by the Crown, by Her Majesty. It is a private estate, and it was the former home of the Queen Mother. Now, Charles famously still had her old tatty curtains for years and years and years and years. I still don't know if he's got them, but it goes to show that he's kind of kept it relatively unchanged. So I've had great fun trying to zoom in and look what's in the background, the furnishings, the pictures, the ornaments, the table, the box. He's got his red box, or rather a red box. He's propping up his laptop, and it does appear that he has an Apple, the same as me, and might be doing a little bit of self-promotion as well, which made me smile, because propping up the computer on top of the red box, you can see his book that he wrote, Harmony. Now, Harmony, I've got a copy. It's about his thoughts and passions and theories about harmony in nature, and how nature can kind of coexist in harmony with humans. So I think he's doing a little bit of self-publication there, a little bit of self-promotion. He's getting a plug-in for his book. This book has been out a very long time, but it just made me smile to see that as one of the books propping up the laptop. Now, another thing that made me smile, I'm also looking for a fringed lamp. And in Balmoral, in the corner, I can see a fringed lamp. I want mine in green. And I've seen some really good ones, but Prince Charles has a fringed lamp, so I was really happy to see that. Also, what appears to be an antique vase. There's a photograph on the side table of Charles and Camilla. There appears to be a photograph behind the lamp, directly behind the lamp, of how I think the interior of one of the Burke Hall rooms would have looked, I think probably during the Queen Mother's time. Again, I'm trying to zoom in. It's a little bit difficult with what I'm looking at now, because it keeps jumping back. Now, above the lamp, let me just zoom out again. I'm losing my spot. Above the lamp, there appears to be what looks to be like a leopard figurine. I think it looks like a leopard figurine poking out from the top. I can see like a little crystal chandelier lamp as well. A wooden carved tall lamp. The table looks very rustic. It's kind of like a whitewashed, distressed but painted pattern table. Looks very intricate, like a cream. And of course you can see tartan. There's lashings of tartan everywhere. There's some chicken figurines on top of the piano. There's some what look like little candle lights as well. There's fresh flowers everywhere. I imagine they are ones that he has grown himself. Some seasonal daffodils as well. Now, I was trying to see and focus in on the photographs. Now, my eyesight isn't terribly good for this type of thing, so I may need your help. You need to tell me what you can see as well. So, I can see, most prominently, I think I can see, is a photograph of Charles, William and Harry together in their beautiful uniforms. There is a picture of what looks like Charles with a grandchild. Now, I was trying to work out who the grandchild is. I'm thinking I can see a dress. So, of course, I'm thinking the child in the photo, immediately Princess Charlotte. I could be wrong. Let me know who you think that is. Then, of course, we have another group photo, which I think is another christening, a christening photo. Again, that one is really blurry. I can see a horse jumping photograph as well. Someone on horseback jumping a fence. And I can't quite make out who that is. Could it be Anne? I'm not entirely sure. We also have a baby photo. We also have, I think it was Prince George's christening photo. And there's one of someone in a peachy coloured dress. Who could that be? I don't know. Now, the the baby photo that looks really old. I'm trying to see, is that the Queen or the Queen Mother? Maybe. It can't be Charles. The hair is too curly and blonde. Anyway, have a good look. Have a good zoom in and let me know who you think they might be. Like I say, my my eyesight trying to see these sorts of things is a little bit... Oh, and also the rugs. He's got mismatched, different coloured rugs as well, which I'm really enjoying. So I've had a really great time having a zoom in, looking at what could be Prince Charles's parlour, sitting room, kind of relaxing space maybe. So I'm going to go now and see what everyone is saying. Juliet says, "Ooh, I love magnifying pics too. Oh, it's good for the nosy soul, isn't it? It is very interesting. Charles, invite me round once all this isolation's over. We can have a little drink in your parlour. Tea, of course. Elaine is in the Shetland Isles, stranded in the holiday cottage. But you're not complaining. I bet you're not, my love. I bet you're not. Let's go down a bit. H. King says, I don't see a dress. Quality looks good. So you think it's Louis? It might well be. I thought I saw kind of... Then again, it could be ruffled shorts, couldn't it? Or you think it could be Archie, because we know how much Harry and Meghan like the black and white photos. Anything is possible. I really don't know. Keep them coming. Let me know. HM the King says, painting is of toddler Lilibet Elizabeth. Yes, that was another one of my feelings. But of course, like the Queen Mother and Queen Elizabeth, I think their baby photos look very alike. But yeah, I think it also could be Elizabeth as well. Elizabeth, our Queen, of course. But keep looking. Keep having a little scan. Kelly says, Prince Charles looked good in the pictures I saw of him doing his speech. Yes, he did. I'm just scanning some photos, some messages. Yeah, so keep having a look. And of course, keep them coming. Right, and I think that was pretty much all of my royal news for today. So unless you've got anything else, I'll give you a few minutes in case you want to ask any questions or talk about anything. So do let me know. Okay, HM the King says that's 100% Lilibet. You're probably right. I think it probably is as well. Apparently Harry and Meghan have purchased a new home in California. Well, I haven't heard the news, so I'm not sure whether that's true or not, or just speculation. But of course, I will check that out ready for the next time I go live on Steps of Sussex, which I'm hoping to be able to watch Elephant, which of course is the movie that Meghan has narrated for Disney Plus. I'm hoping to watch that this afternoon, and then hopefully once I've watched that, I may be able to go live tonight where I can give my honest opinion about what I think about it. Thank you, Kanetta, who is liking the fringe tiara today. Christine thinks the top picture on the left is Charles and Anne when they were young. It well could be. Yes, there was a recording of Prince William and Catherine released talking to hospital staff. I did talk about that in yesterday's chat as well. Right, that's it. So I'm going to go now. And I will probably be back in a few minutes with my On This Day in Royal History. So stay tuned. I will just do all the tinkering around with the video that I normally do. And then once I've put the links on and saved it all properly, I will be back. I will return. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Please share on social media. It really does help in these difficult times when YouTube is not notifying people and everything's all gone a little bit crazy. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. And also, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. So, from me, until next time, in Shropshire, mwah to you all. and goodbye. Stay safe.